If every night, without realizing it, you're doing something that may be affecting your circulation and increasing the risk of a serious brain issue, you need to know this today, and more importantly, you need to know how to fix it starting tonight with simple actions. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mena, and I want to speak to you with complete clarity. There is a very common nighttime habit, seemingly harmless, that many people repeat before going to bed without realizing it may be affecting their blood flow and putting their brain health at risk. I'm not talking about smoking or alcohol, but something much more everyday, something you are probably doing too. Throughout my career, I've seen many patients arrive at the emergency room with cerebrovascular events that could have been prevented. And when I review their bedtime routines, I find the same pattern again and again. Something so simple it goes unnoticed, yet powerful enough to turn a night of rest into hours of silent vulnerability. In fact, a large number of these events happen during the night or in the early hours of the morning. This is not a coincidence. Today, I'm going to explain exactly what this mistake is, what's happening inside your body while you sleep, and how you can correct it starting today to protect your brain. Stay with me because what you're about to learn could make a real difference in your life, or in the life of someone close to you. For years in my practice, I've heard patients say in confusion, "Doctor, I took care of myself. I ate well, what happened?" And when we take a closer look at their nighttime habits, that's where the answer appears. I've seen relatively young people lose mobility, struggle to speak, and entire families affected by something that could have been avoided. I especially remember a patient in his early 50s. Active, disciplined, but with a nighttime routine that seemed harmless. That small detail ended up costing him dearly. And like him, there are many others. I'm not telling you this to scare you, but to give you control. Because unlike many risk factors, this one is entirely in your hands. And once you understand what's happening, you'll be able to make decisions that truly protect your health. Before we go into the most important mistakes, you need to understand something key. Imagine your blood as a river flowing through your body. During the day, that flow is active and dynamic. But at night, everything changes. Your blood pressure naturally drops, which is normal, but it also reduces the force of circulation. Your body enters a resting state, you move much less, and on top of that, you go for several hours without drinking fluids. Now think about this. Your brain, even though it represents a small part of your body, requires a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients. For that to happen, blood must flow easily through very fine vessels. When your blood becomes thicker, everything becomes more difficult. Your heart has to work harder, circulation slows down, and the risk of blockages increases. And there's a particularly critical moment, the early morning hours. This is when your body is most dehydrated and your cardiovascular system begins to activate again. That's when the risk rises. Now let's talk about the first mistake, and pay close attention because it's more common than you think. Not staying properly hydrated before bed and during the night. Many people avoid drinking water at night because they don't want to wake up to use the bathroom. But this is a major misunderstanding. While you sleep, your body continues to lose fluids, even if you don't notice it. Just through breathing and natural processes, you can lose a significant amount of water. If you add up the hours from your last drink until the next morning, you may easily go half a day without proper hydration. And that has consequences. Your blood depends heavily on water to stay fluid. When you become dehydrated, it becomes thicker, slower, and more likely to form clots. Some time ago, I treated a patient with a very common routine. He stopped drinking fluids early in the evening, ate salty meals, and went through the night without hydration. One morning, his life changed completely. And the most striking part is that it could have been prevented with something as simple as improving his nighttime hydration. That's why I want to give you clear steps you can apply starting today. First, drink a glass of water about an hour before going to bed. You don't need too much, just enough to start the night properly hydrated. Second, keep some water by your bedside. If you wake up, take a few small sips. The goal is not to drink large amounts, but to keep your body balanced. Third, when you wake up, before anything else, drink water. This helps restore your body after the night. And if you're worried about waking up to use the bathroom, adjust the timing of your last drink so your body has time to process it before you go to sleep. It may seem like a small change, but it has a powerful impact. If this information is helping you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who might need it. Sometimes, a simple habit can make a life-changing difference. And stay with me, because there's another nighttime mistake, even more subtle, that you may be making without realizing it. Many people know that salt affects blood pressure, but what most don't understand is how sodium at night creates a particularly risky situation while you sleep. Picture this. It's evening, you're relaxing, maybe watching TV, and you decide to have a light snack. Crackers, cheese, something crunchy, or even a dinner that seems healthy but is loaded with sauces or processed seasonings. Without realizing it, you're consuming a large amount of sodium. And here's the issue. It's not about obvious excess, but small amounts that add up. Common foods can provide more salt than your body needs, especially at night. During the day, your body can regulate this better. You move, you drink water, you eliminate fluids. But when you consume sodium before bed, it stays in your system for hours, right when your body is at rest. Sodium causes your body to retain fluid in your blood vessels. This increases blood volume and puts more pressure on your arteries. And most importantly, that pressure is not constant, it spikes, especially in the early morning as your body starts waking up. That moment, when your pressure begins to rise and your body shifts from rest to activity, is one of the most critical. If your arteries are already under stress from excess sodium, the risk increases significantly. I remember a patient who came to me with frequent morning headaches. She didn't understand why, because she generally took care of herself. But when we reviewed her nighttime routine, we found the cause. Her evening meals were full of processed foods, salty snacks, and hidden sodium. I suggested simple changes: reduce sodium at dinner, avoid processed foods, and eliminate salty snacks late at night. Within a few weeks, her symptoms improved significantly and her blood pressure stabilized. Sometimes, small adjustments lead to big results. Now let me give you a clear plan you can start tonight. Avoid processed foods at dinner. Anything that comes in a package often contains hidden sodium. Check labels, and if it's high, save it for another time. Cook with natural ingredients and use spices for flavor. There are many ways to enjoy food without relying on salt. If you need a nighttime snack, choose simple options like fruit or small portions of natural foods without added salt. And very importantly, try to avoid salty foods in the last hours of the evening. This one change alone can make a meaningful difference. Now, there's a third mistake that most people make without even realizing it. And it has to do with something you do every single night: how you sleep. It may sound surprising, but the position of your neck and the type of pillow you use can directly affect how blood reaches your brain. Your neck contains critical arteries that supply blood to the brain. These structures are sensitive to posture. If you sleep with your neck bent, twisted, or in a strained position, you may restrict that flow. Think of a garden hose. When it's straight, water flows freely. When it's bent, the flow is reduced. The same thing happens in your body. I've seen patients wake up with unusual sensations, tingling, or mild weakness simply from maintaining a poor position for hours. I remember a patient who changed his pillow thinking it would help, but it raised his head too much while sleeping on his side. That position, maintained night after night, gradually affected his circulation. Posture also affects breathing. Certain sleeping positions can worsen conditions like sleep apnea, leading to drops in oxygen and sudden spikes in blood pressure during the night. That's why it's essential to pay attention to how you sleep. Your pillow should keep your neck aligned with your spine. Not too high, not too low. If you sleep on your side, it should fill the space between your shoulder and your head without forcing your posture. Avoid extreme positions, especially sleeping on your stomach, as it forces your neck to rotate for long periods. If possible, change positions during the night to avoid constant pressure on one area. And if you notice loud snoring or pauses in breathing, it's important to get evaluated. Now pay close attention, because the next mistake is the most critical of all, and there's a good chance it's part of your routine without you realizing it. Now I want to talk to you about the fourth mistake. The most dangerous, the most silent, and surprisingly one of the most common. It has to do with certain medications people take before bed without understanding their effects during the night. I'm referring to commonly used anti-inflammatory medications, the ones many people take for back pain, headaches, or joint discomfort. They are not bad in themselves. When used properly, they can be helpful. But when they become a nightly habit, the situation changes. These medications reduce inflammation, but they also affect internal processes related to blood clotting. In simple terms, they can make your blood more likely to form clots under certain conditions. Now think about everything we've discussed. At night, you may already be dehydrated, your blood may be thicker, your movement is reduced, your posture may be affecting circulation, and you may have had a high-sodium dinner. If you add a medication that alters your body's balance, you are creating a very delicate situation. This also applies to some sleep aids. Many people use them without supervision. While they may help you fall asleep, they can affect breathing, oxygen levels, and how your body regulates blood pressure during the night. I remember a patient in her early 60s who had been taking a pain reliever every night for a long time. It was part of her routine. But she also had other factors: poor nighttime hydration, unhealthy evening meals, and undiagnosed sleep issues. One day, everything changed suddenly. And when we reviewed her case, we saw how multiple small factors had added up. That's why it's so important to understand that it's not just one habit, but the combination of several. If you are taking these medications regularly at night, the first step is to speak with your doctor and explore alternatives. There are other ways to manage pain and improve sleep without increasing unnecessary risks. If you do need them, it's better to take them during the day and stay well hydrated. Avoid combining them with alcohol and pay attention to how your body responds. And most importantly, don't normalize long-term use without proper medical guidance. If you are over a certain age, have high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, or a family history, it's even more important to review this with a professional. Now let's briefly review everything because this is the key. First, lack of hydration at night. Going many hours without water thickens your blood. The solution is simple: hydrate before bed, keep water nearby, and drink when you wake up. Second, excess sodium at dinner. Processed and salty foods increase pressure and affect circulation. Choose fresh foods and avoid salt at night. Third, sleep position. Poor posture can reduce blood flow to the brain. Adjust your pillow and keep your neck aligned. And fourth, frequent use of certain medications at night, which can alter your body's natural balance. When these factors combine, the risk increases. But here's the most important part: all of them are under your control. Tonight, do something different. Prepare your glass of water, review your dinner, pay attention to how you sleep, and reflect on what you're taking before bed. These are simple decisions, but they can change your future. Now I'd like to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which of these mistakes surprised you the most or which one you need to fix starting today. Your experience may help others too. And if you feel this information could help someone close to you, share it. Sometimes a small action can make a big difference. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us every day. Here, I share clear, practical, experience-based information so you can take care of your health with confidence. And before we finish, I want to invite you to reflect on something deeper. Take a moment to be grateful. Grateful for your life, your body, and the opportunity to learn and improve each day. Taking care of yourself is also a way of honoring that gift. Here on Dr. Gabriel Mena's channel, we are truly committed to helping you improve your habits and protect your health. Tomorrow, there will be a new video created especially for you, with practical and valuable information. I'll be here waiting for you so we can continue moving forward together, step by step, toward a healthier life.